Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Welcome to another video reaction. As you guys noticed from the decoration today, we are going to be doing something a little bit different from the usual Game of Thrones reaction that you guys have learned to enjoy. I guess you guys figure out what that is already. I decided that what better opportunity to start diving into some horror movies that I've always wanted to watch, but I just never got down to it. Now, during the Halloween period of the year, I don't know how many of you guys watching are from somewhere that celebrates Halloween. Here in Greece, it's not really that big of a holiday. We have our own holiday regarding dress up and all those things. But me being a big horror movie fan, I always kind of subscribed to the whole Halloween experience. Fun fact, guys, horror movies were probably the reason why I got into films in the first place. I remember when we were, I don't even remember what age it was, but we were very young. Me and my friends would just go to the video store when those were still a thing. Well, they're still a thing in some areas. Let me guys know, do you guys still have video stores where you can rent DVDs and stuff anywhere close to where you live? But we would go at least once a week, I remember, to the video store and just rent random horror movies. Like, that was around the early 2010s, maybe 2010, 2011. And that was like, we wouldn't even look up reviews or anything. We would just go to the video store and just pick a random horror movie to watch based on like the cover art and looking at the description they have in the box. That was a very fun experience because we discovered a lot of good horror films, but my favorite part was when we would find just the most ridiculous, like straight to DVD, campy, hilarious films, horror films, where we would just die laughing watching them. But then we would also find some really good ones. I can't really remember the name, but I remember we found a French. Was it Martyr? Was it Martyr? That's the. Wait a minute. Let me just, because I remembered now what it was called. It was probably Martyrs. Yes. And I remember specifically, like, we didn't even know that was like the movie was in French. It was like a French film when we put it on, and that was like, we were ecstatic by our discovery. Obviously, I think now it's a pretty well-known film. For us, it was like, oh, look at this, like, they're not even speaking English. And that was one of the most terrifying films I remember I have watched. I'm not somebody who is easily creeped out by horror. I just enjoy them. I wouldn't necessarily say it takes a lot, but for me to get creeped out by a horror movie, they need to have done like a lot of things right. They need to have built up a level of suspense and tension to really like get to me. So I don't know if necessarily like you guys are going to enjoy seeing. I'm not going to be jumping, I think. I would like to believe, unless I discover something completely different about myself with one of these reactions. But like, I just enjoy like the horror movie genre from a filmmaking, storytelling aspect a lot of the time, which might sound weird to people who don't really appreciate horror for some of the characters that it has given us and for some of the stories that it has given us, let alone some of the performances. In a way, like I believe that the first like stories were scary stories. I think like a lot of the first stories, which would be like folk tales, were used to describe the unknown, and oftentimes they would explain it by the supernatural. And overall, I think like just one of the main storytelling like interests were like to try and scare people. I don't know. But today I am going to be checking out Insidious. I've heard a lot of great things about Insidious. A lot of the people that I know who have watched it have told me that it's like one of their favorite modern horror films. Although this movie came out in 2012. No, not even. This movie came out in 2011. And if you think about it, that's 12 years ago. So it's like a decade plus old from today. And that always trips me out when I remember that like the 2010s were like a decade ago. I am going in completely blind. I know very little about what this film is about, other than it has to do with the supernatural, soccer. And the early 2010s were also a time period where a lot of good horror films were coming out. And then we had a bunch of sequels to those really good horror films that might have not been as good. I know specifically there are some sequels to Insidious, which I really don't know if they're good or not. The Conjuring came out around that time period, and you know, some of the offshoots and the sequels and prequels of that universe, you know, have been some of them have been good, some of them have been so. I don't know what the Insidious sequels are like, so if you guys know, if you think I should react to those as well, let me know in the comments. But let's not waste too much time on this intro and jump straight into the reaction. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the videos, leave a like, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more content. And let's go straight into Insidious, guys. I've been in a bit of a horror film drought. It's been a while since I last saw a horror movie that I actually enjoyed. This is directed by James Wan. Okay, that's promising. That's good to know. Who are you, lady? I like this intro. Specifically, I like the soundtrack of this intro. It reminds me a bit of some older horror movie soundtracks. It also reminded me of The Conjuring a lot, but like it kind of, for whatever reason, reminded me of Suspiria, 70s, the original, which in my opinion had one of the best horror film soundtracks, one of the eeriest rather horror film soundtracks that I've listened to. That was a great movie. And is the Suspiria remake any good? They did remake Suspiria, right? If any of you guys have seen it. Credit sequence is a bit long. They are quite dragging it. We're like 3 minutes into the thing. Although, again, like, maybe I have been like too conditioned by the horror movies of today, where they usually start with like a big scene right off the bat to like get their audience instantly hooked in. Is that a face across the hallway right there? Should I be paying closer attention to these pictures? I think I should, but I've just been talking this whole time. But I remember, like, for example, The Shining, right? It starts off with a long intro with just like credits rolling and a great soundtrack playing in the back. And it's one of my favorite horror film intros, even though nothing really happens. It's just Jack driving up to the hotel. Then the original Evil Dead also had a pretty drawn out intro where it had like the famous Evil Dead POV shot moving alongside the forest trees and stuff. Maybe they were trying to like do a nod to like those older films. Are they wearing matching pajamas? That's cute.
I was a kid once too, believe it or not.
You're old now.
She's actually incredibly young.
Really?
Oh. Have a guess.
Like, she doesn't look a day over 30, but like, yeah. For a kid, probably 30, 29 is like ancient.
Show me a picture when Dad was a little kid.
He's really hopeless at keeping photos.
That's me.
Show me a picture when I was
I'm so bad with keeping like photos of myself and like taking photos of myself.
Wonderful.
Thank God there are other people who have taken photos of me, or otherwise there would be like no memory of my younger years. This man is also thriving during the early 2010s when it comes to horror films. He was like the horror film guy during that period. He was everywhere.
What is this? Wax? We have no actual fruit, we have plastic fruit.
Was that a candle? That's a pretty, like, why would you have like a fruit-shaped looking candle? That's dangerous. Is this singer? Like, writer, singer? Okay, we're already setting up the piano to be used in a future scene, as well as the little thing that she has to like have contact with the baby room. And also, like, I always get stuck when I watch films like this. Is like, how much money do these people make? Because these houses are like incredibly spacious with so many rooms, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm just like a teacher. And they have an attic as well. I mean, of course they'd have an attic, it's a horror film, but so that's like 3 floors at least that I've counted, and I don't know if they have a basement as well. What is this, Home Alone? I mean, look at this place.
Hello?
I'm jealous, yes. That's why I keep commenting on it. So which of the little kids is the one that gets possessed first? Is it this little boy? I mean, he's going towards an attic where he heard like a door squeak and like open. So like, he's easily the best candidate right now for possession. You didn't hit your head. Why were you holding your head, kid? You fell on your back, right? On your side.
Did you fall? Did you fall off the ladder? How did you fall down? Are you okay?
Also, these movies have so many useless lights. They have lights that, like, when you open them up, like, nothing brightens up. Like, why was the light even there? It does nothing.
I'm sorry I was pissy when you got home from work today.
Didn't notice.
Callie woke up after a half hour and she wouldn't go back down.
So if that was her being pissy, this man must be living a very calm and relaxing existence.
I just had such a bad day. I'm scared nothing's gonna change.
It will, I promise you.
And if that was like a bad day, then they're also living a pretty carefree existence.
Thanks for letting me take.
I love all your songs.
Shut up! You do not.
Stop it.
Which one's your favorite?
Should write a song about me.
They're all about you.
Yeah, like how cool I am. Like,
She hasn't listened to any of them songs.
No.
no.
Cheers, guys. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of these type of shots. I always like these shots in horror films, if done right again.
Can you finish your eggs, please?
But sometimes they kind of overuse them, where it's like something is in the forefront and they're focusing the lens like on what's going on behind that.
Gotta get ready for school. Hey. Hey. Dalton.
This is not how my parents used to try to wake me up. There would have been like a push or something at least.
Dalton.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Dalton. Dalton.
His scans are all normal. To be honest, I've never seen.
You thought the previous day was like a bad day. You're going to find out what a bad day actually is.
Okay, so what do we do?
Three months later?
The length of the tube that I'm gonna need.
So has he been in a coma for 3 months?
To the nose, to the earlobe, and then down to the xiphoid process, which is here.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then you
understand
mark that off with
many of the
something.
words that you just used, lady, but...
And then I need to lubricate.
Yeah, just write a song about it. how your child is in a coma. Probably your creative juices are just flowing right about now. I always also appreciate how apparently in all these movies the demonic whatever beings usually communicate in English so that their victims can understand what they're saying. Apparently, like the supernatural, it's the English is the main language. Is it just me, or would I already be going like to the room the first minute I heard somebody else's voice in the room of my child? Like whatever that was had already said like a bunch of words before she decided maybe I should go check on that. Maybe that's not normal.
Things are gonna get better. I promise. I'm gonna show this to your dad.
So is it like whatever she heard from that
I'm scared, Mom.
like microphone thing? She's just going to like completely like whatever. It was probably the wind.
Can I change
What?
rooms?
What?
Why would you want to change rooms?
I don't like when he walks around at night.
Another horror movie trope is that like the kids are just completely fine with whatever. Okay, that's just like somebody that I don't know who's not my dad or my mom is walking around the house. So I'm not going to tell anybody anything because that's normal, and I'm not really going to scream either. I'm just going like, you know. Oh, unless he's talking about his brother, which that would also be weird that he would not share with the family. And always have to have squeaky floors as well.
I heard this noise coming from Callie's room. It was
You
on
didn't
the
hear a
radio.
noise.
It was like a
You heard like
voice
actual
that ran
conversation.
up here and,
Probably just interference. Those things are always picking up somebody else's signal.
Do
I
they?
don't know,
That's
it
horrible
sounded so clear. It was like
design.
this
Like why would they
whispering.
have like
It
have them
scared
do
the
that?
hell out of me.
Hold on. Stay here.
You're not going to take any protection with you or anything? Just your hands? You're that confident? Can't you open the lights? Or are they like just more useless lights that want? Ah, they have their lights open. Nothing changed when you close the light. Ah. And you did lock that door. Okay, so like after that, we're gone. We're leaving the house. We're renting an apartment. We're going on a hotel. They clearly are not short of money, so we're just not staying in the house. Right? I think you guys would agree. These lights are really not lighting. They're really not doing the job properly. It's like they open the light and literally just the light lights up, and like the rest of the room, okay, that was a little bit better. And obviously it has to do with like the color grading, but it's funny whenever they open a light in a room and like we can still see just about as good as we could see before the lighting. No, the first light that actually works in the house was this one. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at this. Like just a tiny piece on the wall lit up. Okay, so he's a teacher, right?
See you tomorrow.
So like the joke I said before, where they like have a super impressive house, and one of them is a teacher, and the other is apparently a songwriter. And let me tell you,
Hey, honey, it's me.
she's probably not making a lot of money
They just told me
out of that songwriting business. So you saw somebody. Clearly, she saw somebody in the house. Clearly, somebody was in because you saw the door open up even though you locked it. You did not call the police. You did not leave the house. And you're leaving your wife alone in that same house
No, he didn't.
for whatever
But we have to give it
periods
to
of
him.
time.
I feel like the universe is just trying to see how far I'll bend before I break.
I'm going to be honest with you, before this situation your life seemed to be going pretty well. Really good actually.
It's okay.
And I don't want to compare like problems or anything, but you had like a really good family, 3 children, a beautiful house. Is this the first time you tried to change the covers? And they're going to still be in their house after that, watch. They still are not going to leave.
I'm scared of this house.
Why are you looking like that's confusing to you what she's saying?
There's something wrong with this place. I'm not imagining.
No,
I
why
can
would you
feel
say
it.
that? Everything has been
It's like
completely
a
normal.
sickness. Things move around in here by themselves. I walk in the
Things
kitchen
have
at
been
night to
moving
get a
around
drink
by
with the
themselves
blue
and you
eyes
guys are
on me.
still living in this house?
I can't be in there alone anymore. Not here with me in this situation. You're just avoiding it.
Literally like...
Like everything stressful, whether it's this or parking
Oh,
ticket.
God, stop saying that, okay? I don't avoid stressful situations. I'm just dealing with them my own fucking way.
by avoiding them. It's alright, man, we can relate. We've all done it. Just own up to it.
Deal with this.
Am I like crazy? Wouldn't this be like the first thing that you would tell your partner if you found if you found out? And what did she do with it? Nothing. She just handed him like shit that was like that had the stamp of a hand by blood. Didn't take it to the police for identification. He just like what? He kept it? Did you put it? Did you put it in the washer? Did he think this is what she was asking him to do? I do like what they're doing sometimes with the design of the sound. Although it is a little bit annoying, like the voices, the dialogue is really low compared to like everything else that happens. So like I kind of want to turn the volume up a little bit, but then I'll just go like completely deaf. He's just walking around, just chilling.
Josh.
It's not Josh. Why would you think it's Josh? Who? And I like how petty the demons are, just like torturing the victims. She literally went like this and then disappeared. But he acted like he was going to get her. And then he was like, aha, I fooled you. Now I'm going to disappear. Just so that people think you're crazy.
We're gone.
And like they would usually like give you an explanation as to why the people can't or will not leave. But right now it was just like, they're just staying. What do you want to do, guys? They can't just leave. That would be crazy. Hold on, is this their other home? Their other house?
I can't believe you got Josh to hold still for a photo.
I thought I saw something in the framing, but never mind.
All over again.
Of course we're gonna have to have a vinyl. What type of horror movie would that be if we didn't have a vinyl? And a clock, just like that one. But like I'm from what I'm assuming, the demon wasn't like, it wasn't the house that was haunted. Maybe it had to do with them. Maybe it follows them now. So it's probably whatever that was. It has followed them and their boy here. Through the wind. window. This specific theme song, I'm going to let this scene unfold, and I'm going to tell you some backstory about me regarding this song that was just playing. I actually didn't like remember or know what specific film this song was from, or is it just like a song? Is it an old song? So I write, guys. Like I've written some screenplays and okay, now this is not normal. I'm going to finish my train of thought later after the scene, guys. Is that blood on the window? Did you not see the blood on the window, or was it not blood on that window? And that other window. Convenient door placement. Which door is going to open? I just know. You're not imagining things. This is actually happening, so I want you to be a little more like on edge and like ready for whatever might pop out at you. There you go. This is a proper reaction. If these are like just some random boots. Honestly, yeah. This would have been the reaction of me for me as well by that point. So regarding the song that was playing on earlier, that specific song, I had heard it from some compilation on YouTube, and I just thought it was one of the creepiest things that I've heard. Like, it was something about it was so eerie and creepy that like whenever I would write, and I would write like horror screenplays, I'd use that like as my sound, where I sometimes listen to music when I write, so I would like use that as inspirational sounds. Like, just I like to have music that matches the tone that I'm going for. And I remember that Tiptoe Through the Window shit was like some of the creepiest shit I've heard. And it wasn't like even like, what I'm saying is I understand why they would use it. It's such a creepy song. And I didn't know it was from Insidious. I had no idea. Or rather that it was used in Insidious. I don't know if it's like, if it was composed just for this film.
I asked it, who are you?
You asked, who are you?
It was a visitor. I said, what do you want?
Him. I want the little boy.
I can still hear that voice.
What?
That was a creepy shot. I had seen that image before though. Maybe that's because maybe that could have got me if I had not like seen that still image somewhere. That was it. Shit. He just destroyed the room and like left the kid. Wasn't he there for the kid?
I know someone who can help.
Why are you guys hiding this information that is supposedly so useful? You know somebody that can help, you should have already have called them. This is so Conjuring like, or rather Conjuring was very much Sinister like, because Conjuring came after, where they brought the like the literally Ghostbusters from what I'm seeing here.
Triflemeter measures DC fields and the natural electromagnetic environment.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah,
let's pretend we understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can leak into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Hallucinations, changes in energy.
Get it.
A little more important.
Changes in UV light. Make all this equipment myself, you know.
It's impressive.
Who had these like toy cameras where you would put these things and like it would show you different 3D images?
Yeah, that one's basically.
Do you guys remember those? I used to have like one with sea creatures, with dinosaurs. What type of equipment have you created? You're supposed to tell me this does anything? Obviously that was going to happen, like... They are a little bit too on the nose with the setups.
Leave the light off.
They're useless in this film anyway, so might as well. What are we going to see, lady? Is he up there, looking at us? That specific sound effect has been used at very offbeat times. That just kind of makes it funny whenever they've used it.
Ready to hear this yet?
It, like, there was no reason for them to use that sound effect there when she turned.
Easing you into it. Yes.
They've long accepted that something is there, so like they're not going to question you.
Your son isn't in a coma. Falling
Duh.
off the ladder had nothing to do with this.
Because she didn't even hit his face.
Reason these disturbances, they followed you to a new home, is because it's not the house that's haunted.
It's him. It's them? All of
It's
them?
your son.
It's your son.
I don't understand.
Literally couldn't have said it any simpler.
Because he thinks they're dreams. And it's that very lack of fear that has led him to travel too far. And to become lost.
Lost?
Have you guys had those dreams ever? Where you could like feel like you could control the dream when what was happening? I think I've had it like once, maybe. It's a pretty good feeling.
Place without time as we know it, Dalton is. And the problem is that with his astral body gone, he's just left us with a physical body and empty vessel.
I actually heard the sound, guys. So it's like, well, let me check just to be sure.
I've listened to the Dog and Pony Show. I have seen the drawings. But to bring Dalton into it, no.
Why is our son still in a coma? Why can't the doctors tell us what is wrong with him?
She literally has seen things. She gave you like a seat with like blood stains on it.
What do you mean?
To be fair to him, Josh, like he specifically has not seen anything supernatural. Like the logical explanation, if you simply don't believe in the supernatural, would be that like your wife has started to lose it. My thing here is that he saw like the door open, even though he clearly remembered locking it. While all that coincided with what his wife was saying, like that was happening during the same time period. I know that we have to have our conflict, and it's pretty like reasonable reaction to an extent. Oh god. My thing is, when can the like actual humans see them, and when can they not? Like, do these entities decide when they will make themselves visible? So he's seeing his son's drawings that are pretty soundly explaining to him that he does travel and sees these things. And also like they've established that like Josh's character is kind of like somebody who runs away from like the tough situations in his life. That was easy. He got convinced pretty quickly. But like as I was saying, like maybe it was just him not wanting to believe that, just as that he wouldn't have to deal with it. But that conflict was quickly resolved in the span of half a scene, which is convenient for our movie to continue forward without too much stalling.
In the atmosphere, both.
Listen, I would think that like, look at this. If I was him, I'd be like, okay, these are just a bunch of crazy people. What is this? These light bulbs, if they're supposed to be like extremely cheap jump scares, come on, film.
Man. With fire. his face.
How the description changed like my imagination of how that man looked like in like a split second.
Yeah.
I imagine someone holding a torch,
Follow my voice,
and then I
Dalton.
imagine someone who's just put their face on fire
Follow
and
my
is
voice.
running around.
They'll hear you. They won't hear me, Dalton. Follow my voice.
Why are you not like
Follow
listening
my
to the
voice.
kid who has been there for how many months now?
Heard you.
Now you need to run.
Bitch.
Someone is angry. I like how they're censoring what is being said by just showing it with big letters this time. Is she dead? That looked so silly. I'm sorry. Just how nonchalant she is. Like, what is she trying to do here? Was she trying to lick her? Did it need to turn on the light for them to go away? He used his lifeless body to like... That's fine.
What was that?
Basically used him as a ragdoll.
The reason I knew to call Elise in this situation, the reason I know her so well,
Josh was possessed by the same
because I called her
demon.
myself once, years ago, to help you.
I've been knowing these
What are you
things.
talking about, Mom?
It's no accident that your son is a gifted traveler.
This poor girl is like, who did I marry? And why?
When you were about 8,
Okay, this is blinding.
you were terrified of an old woman who you said used to come visit you at night. I told you to grow up.
Damn.
And then I saw it for myself.
Imagine telling a 5-year-old, like, grow up, kid.
At first I thought it was a camera problem.
What type of camera problem could that have been,
I saw it
lady?
again.
These are some of the, like, the worst Photoshop jobs I've seen. Yeah, just a camera problem.
In each photo,
She was coming closer and
she
closer.
got closer.
Right. I like how it took you, like, by the 5th photo to, like, be shocked.
Impressing your memory and your ability to astral project was the only way to stop her from getting into you.
Ah.
But in the back of your mind, you're still afraid to have your picture taken, aren't you?
Ah.
those photos
Is
from
this
the
why I
photos.
don't like taking pictures of myself?
I advised Lorraine
Should I be
to
worried?
hide them,
Should I go find
to
Elise?
stop taking your picture, Erisine.
So is this why, like, when she was looking at the photo of them together, like the family photo,
Drew
his
you
mother
out into
kind
a
of like
figure just as Dalton has been drawn.
tried to look more intensely?
I'm so sorry,
Did she
Josh.
try to see if he could see the lady behind him?
I
That's a
didn't
nice
wanna make
touch
you
that they
remember all
added.
this. Just listen to the ticking of the metronome. Head.
I hate
The
ticking.
universe is deathless.
We used to have like a clock
is deathless.
that would
because
tick
having no
very, very
form of
loudly,
self,
like
it
this.
stays infinite.
It drove me nuts.
A sound
I
made
hate ticking
by
clocks.
not advancing
Hate them.
himself, of
How can you
himself.
people like deal with ticking clocks? Like every like moment when there's no sound and you hear this thing, it doesn't drive people crazy. I can't understand it.
It's useless. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Did you not see the color grading change before you got up from your body, Josh? And I like this shot too, where you have him like his eyes like moving crazily inside his head.
Dalton.
So he's like Is Dalton the only kid trapped inside this further world? Because like he literally just took a few steps and just found Dalton? Or is it just because they're in close proximity with each other?
He's in.
Is she going to find the woman that has been chasing him? Like old women in horror films? Scary old women in horror films? This is what I dislike about most jump scares. Like, this type of jump scares, the only reason why people would ever jump is because you had this super loud sound effect that is infinitely more loud than the rest of your composition. So like instantly like you would jump because of the sound, but like they're not like earned jump scares. This is the type of jump scares in horror movies that get me. Like they kind of like aggravate me because they're so cheap and nothing is actually like being done that is earning you being scared other than just someone walking into frame and loud sound effects. Even if it is like a paranormal thing happening. See, this is more creepy when you build things up like this. Because you can kind of see this chick in the background crying as he's going closer to her. But yeah, I was saying something and then I think I lost my train of thought. Ah yeah, I was talking about how creepy, how old ladies in horror films are infinitely more scary than like that thing that they teased with the red face. See, now that's creepy. This is creepy. This is how you do creepy correctly. Because who isn't scared of mannequins? See, isn't this infinitely more scary? Why would you go? Why? Didn't she tell you to not draw attention to yourself? Here he goes, drawing attention to himself. That was creepy. That was creepy. That was how you do creepy. Like, well, you don't need these freaking jump scares like with loud sound effects.
Tell me where my son is.
She's holding a gun.
Please.
Why are you like talking to her? Yes. Is this how they died? Are they showing him how they ended up there? Do they reenact this event whenever a new soul comes into the further? It's like, okay, guys, in position, get ready to reenact our deaths once again. It's also in settings like the one that Josh is in right here, where horror films and direction in horror films and imagination in horror films can truly shine. These places where you can define like the laws of physics and like reality and like blended together. These settings lend for like some of the best imagery. This specific dude has been acting like he's going to do something for a long time now. And he's failing. Is he going to get beat up by like...
You can beat them, you are stronger, you are the one alive.
Get away from me!
Where did he send him to? He sent him into orbit somewhere. See, this is what this type of environment lends you to be able to like. This is beautiful imagery. Getting away finally from that beige, like boring color that the movie had for most of its runtime, which again was the go-to color grading for a lot of movies during the early 2010s, and even today, unfortunately. And like a movie like Suspiria that I mentioned in the beginning, like shows how great the use of color can be in horror films.
We'll get you up, buddy, okay?
Oh, is that why there was blood around his ankle? Because that thing chained him? This song is so incredible, but at the same time so incredibly creepy. I love it. The fact that this creature is like doing whatever he's doing
None of this is real, okay?
while
This is not-
listening
look at my eyes, buddy. None of this is real. We're gonna go home, okay?
to music, like he seemed to be having a great time in there. See, like this thing, like what they're doing with that one here, with this scene, is great. This is really good. The camera movement, yes. Yes. This is creepy and like horror, where they're doing like something nice, something different. I'm still thinking about that scene with the freaking tiptoe through the window song playing. This is like what haunted houses like in theme parks look like, where they have the paid actors like do this exact thing.
Josh, follow my voice.
Is the creature going to follow her voice too? Like all the creatures? Are they going to follow her voice? Elise is what is doing a good thing. Is luring the entire further into this house. Elise. Elise. If you try to jump scare me right now with something. These lights are so useless in this freaking movie. What did this accomplish? What did this accomplish? My freaking phone has better light than this. They keep getting like a bigger light. And like it still doesn't do the job properly.
They're crossing over into our world.
This was a possibility. You did not tell us that this was a possibility to It doesn't look like he's in the right house.
I'm right behind you, go.
No, don't let him run by himself. Right behind you. This doesn't look like the right house. This is not your house. This is still not your house. This demon is literally playing. He has no intention of actually getting you. Or maybe he does. I do appreciate the actual like amount of screen time that the creature gets. Oh, that's the old lady.
I'm not scared of you.
Nah, you
I'm
should.
not scared of you anymore.
You should though.
Get away from me.
See, this is creepier than the demon. The slowest moving zombies, creatures, whatever they were, they had no intention of ever reaching Josh at that pace. And also that demon had no actual intention of getting Dalton. They were just trying to they were just having fun, trying to scare you guys. That's what I get from all this.
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, but words are worth 1,000 words too.
Like, if these characters were like supposed to be like the comic relief, they really weren't.
You're tired?
But like,
No,
whatever.
tired. Yes, I can. No, you've been asleep.
We lied to the writers and say that they were.
Guess I don't need these anymore.
What?
What?
Nothing.
What? You saw something. Why are you saying nothing? Lady?
Why did you do that? Why would you do that to me when you know how I feel about that? Why? Why? Why?
Is it the old lady? Did the old lady possess him again?
Sure.
Go before he kills her.
Elise.
Okay, this was creepier than the whole previous scene. Just this. Because, like, there was an actual threat. It's the old lady, right? Alright, that got me. I just had chills a little bit. Okay, that was good. That ending? Patrick Wilson, that's the name of the actor. Okay. Man, that ending actually like got me. That was good. Like the whole movie was like kind of worth it just for the way they ended it. I don't know, from the way that people told me about Insidious, maybe I expected a bit, like, I don't know. It was pretty straightforward, like on its majority. That maybe it was like, because the Conjuring came after this, and I think like a lot of the same like tropes and stuff and like type of jump scares were used in the Conjuring as well. So maybe I was just comparing too much to the Conjuring in my head for whatever reason. But that ending, that was a creepy ending. And I know that there's sequels to Insidious as well, so like I'm guessing the sequels have to do, at least the next movie has to do with that old lady. I told you guys, old ladies in horror films infinitely scarier than whatever that demon was that was chasing Dalton in this entire movie. Yeah, that I'm not like over the moon with the film overall. It's pretty straightforward horror film. I did like the further, like as a concept, and what they did at the ending of this movie. This scene with the creature, the demon working on whatever it was he was working on, with the music playing in the background. Now that, also the soundtrack is great, but that was like really good with the way they used the song and the color and the imagery and all of it was really good. The movie up to that point, I wouldn't say it's like something that like I'd ever watch again. That ending was like I actually got chills when Joss like tapped his wife. Well, what was Joss now, the creepy lady, tapped his wife in the back, and like the scene where he was talking her, like that in and of itself was like super creepy. Did I miss something? Wait, I think I heard something. Let me go back to like the credits, because I wasn't looking at the credits. Because I heard like, did they do like a final jump scare after the post-credits jump scare that they sometimes add in these movies? So something about violins, by the way, in like soundtracks, like the sound is so creepy. Like that's a violin, right? Or is it just like, are they just opening like a creaky door? What was I heard like a foosh sound, like somebody was that's what it was. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she was like the creepiest part of the movie, that old lady. But yeah, that's Insidious, guys. That was the first horror film that we'll do, not the last, before October 31st, which is when it officially is like the day of the Halloween. The Halloween? Did I say it right? Is it the Halloween or just Halloween? Anyway, should I check out the sequels? Or do you guys have any other recommendations for me? For example, let me ask you guys, what is your favorite horror films, if you guys are into horror films? Your favorite ones. I know this is a difficult question to answer about any genre. But like, if you could, like, the first thing that pops into your head when you think about this was a great horror film experience, just leave it in the comments. Because I've been trying to find like a horror film that will really like shake me. And it's been a while. I can't even remember the last time where a horror film like really got me. And again, I don't necessarily mean, when I say got me, I don't necessarily mean for it to scare me. Just give me something different. I don't know. The performances were alright. The soundtrack was pretty good. Nothing like incredible or anything. Again, if you can just add creepy violin sounds, those are enough to create this eerie like feel. But the soundtrack wasn't bad. It was a good soundtrack. Just for that song that I told you about, the tiptoe through the window, through the tulips with me. I can't sing. But that song, just because of how much this song means to me, I'm going to give the soundtrack like, I don't even 2 grades, but like I'll give it like a 6, 7. It's a decent soundtrack. It was a decent soundtrack. And soundtracks do play a big part in horror films. Well, movies in general, but like, I do appreciate a good horror film, thriller, whatever soundtrack. And this was a decent one, this was a good one. But yeah, it was a good horror film. Like, wasn't blown away, but it was still an interesting watch. And that finale alone was probably worth it. As always, guys, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe. I have my Game of Thrones history and lore livestream that is going to be happening this weekend. Whenever, I'll probably, by the time this video is up, I already have posted the time. Yeah, other than that, I will see you guys in the next reaction video. Have a good one, guys.